Welcome in, everybody, to the JAKIB Halftime Show. Philadelphia Eagles in commanding lead in the first half, a 24-7 lead going into the halftime. Kenny Pickett looking like a backup sometimes, looking like a stud at another time. A couple big throws at Devontae Smith, who's got 3 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown, and inches away from a second touchdown. Birds, again, with a commanding lead. It's 24-7. Cooper Rush dishes up 2 on a platter for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He bounces back big after he was kicked out of last week's game for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Saquon Barkley, 13 carries for 40 yards. Cowboys done a decent job of slowing him down, but Kenny Pickett ultimately made him pay in the passing game. A little bit early in this game, everybody, it looked like a backup bowl, didn't it? But Kenny Pickett kind of finding some rhythm and making some big throws there. So good stuff there. Devontae Smith just absolutely destroying Andrew Booth. Ran right by him there at the end of the half for a 49-yard gain. And then, by the way, great touchdown pass. The 22-yard touchdown pass from Pickett to Smith was excellent as well. Quinyon Mitchell, uncharted territory. He gives up his second touchdown in 2 weeks. I don't want to be nervous about Quinyon yet, but I do think it's fair to say he went the first 15 weeks with no picks or no touchdowns allowed, and then now 2 in 2 weeks he's given up and kind of just got mossed on that touchdown by Jalen Tolbert. So it'd be interesting to see how Quinyon kind of bounces back from that. But all in all, good game so far for the Philadelphia Eagles, 24-7 lead. And I'll talk to John McMullen coming up shortly here on the halftime report. He'll join us from Lincoln Financial Field. So overall, a good game right now. A.J. Brown hasn't been overly involved. I think he's got maybe 2 or 3 targets in this game. I'll give you the numbers on him. Two catches for 16 yards with 3 targets. Smith, I mentioned, 3 catches for 76 yards. He's got that 49-yard long catch there at the end of the half. I thought for sure he was going to get in. And how about Grant Calcaterra on that one-handed catch by him? That was great stuff there. So overall, Eagles looking pretty good with Kenny Pickett in there. He's 9 of 14 for 133 yards, a touchdown, and an 119 rating. Like I said, at times he looks like a backup. At times this game looked like a backup bowl, but now the Eagles getting 2 for 1 here. They got a touchdown at the end of the half. Now they'll get the ball back again after halftime, and they should be able to take a commanding lead in this game and secure the NFC East, and then we will be in rest territory, everybody, for Week 18 versus the New York Football Giants. So all good stuff. Eagles, by the way, defense created 3 turnovers. I mentioned the 2 picks by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That was big. Oren Burks, who's in there for Nakobe Dean at linebacker, he punched out a ball today, and then Jordan Davis was able to jump on that and recover that fumble. So Cooper DeJean was getting involved with some people. It's been an interesting game. It's been one of those up and down games. At times, like I said, it looks like the backup bowl, and at other times, look like the Eagles look pretty good. Defense overall, I think they looked a little spotty early in the game. I mean, I know they had that big pick on the first drive, but other than that, those first 2 drives, Cowboys moved the ball pretty well, and I was starting to think, what's going on with this defense? 2 straight weeks now, but overall, they've recovered well. They have 3 turnovers on the day, so overall, it's been pretty good for them. Let's get to John McMullen live from Lincoln Financial Field, who will join me here on the halftime show. Johnny Mac, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well. 30 minutes to the NFC East Championship, Zander.
Yeah, 24-7, John. At times I said it looked like the backup bowl, and then other times it looked pretty good. Kenny Pickett was throwing the ball pretty well. What'd you see out there in the first half, John? 24-7, Eagles lead.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough start, but I thought Kenny was really sharp in the second quarter, specifically tempo again. For whatever reason, the tempo aspect for the Eagles offense tends to pick them up. Same thing happened today. They were struggling. They use a little tempo. They go on that that first touchdown drive, which was 81 yards. Devontae Smith with the 22-yard passing touchdown from Kenny Pickett. That's where they started, and you ask yourself, why are they waiting to the second quarter with 12 minutes left? But it's what the Eagles seem to do. It always seems to be tempo that picks up the pace, and once the snowball started to run downhill, Dallas doesn't have anything to play for. That's the nature of the NFL, it seems, with these teams that kind of have a little bit of adversity in these games and kind of fall apart. I think that's what you saw with Dallas in the first half. Cooper Rush, just a couple just terrible throws, and the Eagles took advantage of it. And the backup bowl, as you mentioned, the Eagles' backup quarterback is much better than the Cowboys' backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think people should take notice of that, especially the Tanner McKee fan club. This is a pretty good backup quarterback for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, John, any concern on Quinyon? I know I'm not going to go overboard here. I'm not overly concerned, but he gave up 0 touchdowns in the first 15 weeks, and now he's given up 2 in the last 2 weeks. Any concern on the rookie wall there, or what do you think, Quinyon Mitchell, and what he's been able to do?
No, I don't think it's a rookie wall thing. I think it's more of a regressing to the mean. You and I talk about it on Birds 365 all the time. The Eagles have been playing so well defensively. They play the majority of the time they play different types of zone coverage, so it wasn't a lockdown situation. Eventually, and Vic kind of intimated it. Eventually, coverage depends. It goes in a different direction. They're going to start going in his direction. That's what's kind of happened over the past couple of weeks. They had another chance, actually, which would have raised more eyebrows because Cooper Rush had a open Jonathan Mingo down the field. That would have been a big play, but just wasn't even close on the throw. So Quinyon kind of got out of that one. But yeah, I mean they seem certainly in the Washington game, and Vic Fangio amped up the blitz from his perspective. Obviously, he had been at 17% for the season, amped it up against a little bit against the Washington game. That exposes the cornerbacks a little bit more. You saw the go routes, not only that Mitchell gave up against Terry McLaurin, but also Darius Slay gave up against Diami Brown. So when you play more blitzing, when you blitz a little bit more, you're going to put those guys on an island. That happened again on the one play to Quinyon Mitchell today, and he got caught again. So that's sort of the nature. If they scale it back and go to more of those zone coverages, it probably won't be as identifiable as it is right now.
John, the Eagles get the ball at the start of the second half here. Should have a chance to put this game all but away. Anything you're looking for? Anything that sticks out to you for the second half strategy here to close out this game? As you mentioned, just 30 minutes away from clinching the NFC East this year.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think they kind of closed it out with that last touchdown in the first half
It felt like that.
So to me, the most interesting part we were kind of talking about, what do you do with Saquon Barkley in the second half? He had 13 carries for 40 yards in the first half, and really had the one big 15-yard run. Otherwise, it was 12 for 25. So you really want to keep banging the head against the wall, or let Kenny Gainwell, Ty Davis Price finish out this. And then you see what happens with Minnesota and Detroit. If next week is meaningful, if it's not meaningful. But my assumption is the Eagles will play until they win this game and then revisit things afterwards. So cross your fingers when it comes to Saquon, because I think it's going to be a lot of Saquon in the second half.
Good stuff there. Johnny Mac, thanks for joining, brother. We'll talk to you on the post-game show after the game. Thank you, man.
All right, see you.
Good stuff there from Johnny Mac joining me on the JAKIB Halftime Show here. As I mentioned, Birds had the lead 24-7, just 30 minutes away, everybody, from securing the NFC East. So go on Twitter, go on YouTube, jump in a Commanders chat, a Cowboys chat, and a New York Football Giants chat and say, yo, you suck. Philadelphia Eagles looks like they're going to win the NFC East. 24-7 lead here at halftime, and they're going to get the ball at the start of the second half. So we'll see if Kenny Pickett can piece together another touchdown drive and potentially put this game away. All right, let's see. Go to a couple super chats here. Clary Voy checks in. Johnny Mack, why are you not in summer wear? Here at 65. Nice game day for December 29th. Yes, it is. Khaled says, could BG come back if we go to the Super Bowl? He mentioned that. I'm not sure if he would or if he could, but I'm sure he will try, knowing Brandon Graham. Christopher Hand says, Quignon's having a bad game. Go Birds. Agreed with that, Christopher. And it's all right to say that. I'm not picking on him at all, man. I just, you got to call a spade a spade. He's looked really good for 15 weeks, and then he goes 2 straight weeks giving up a touchdown. You go wonder, all right, hopefully it's no Ricky Waller. I think Johnny Mack's more right, though. I think just a couple plays he got beat on, more of a regression to the mean. Nothing to be concerned about there. Overall, everybody playing pretty good. I'll give you the stats one more time here before we kick off this second half. 24-7 lead. Kenny Pickett is 9 of 14 today for 133 and a touchdown. Really should be 2 touchdowns. Devontae Smith just taken down at the 1-yard line. Saquon Barkley is 13 carries for 40 yards. So Cowboys done a pretty good job at slowing him down. That's just a 3.1 average per rush. Devontae Smith has 3 catches for 76 yards with a long of 49. Calcaterra, 1 catch for 34 yards. What a catch that was, everybody. Sticks the one hand up and corrals the ball. Great catch there. A.J. Brown, 2 catches for 16 yards on 3 targets. And then you obviously have the 3 turnovers by the Eagles defense. 2 interceptions for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He said, hey, Quignon, you might want this, your first interception. Nope, I'll take that very much. You're going to have to earn it, youngster. So he gets his second pick of the game. And then an Oren Burks forced fumble. Jordan Davis recovers it. So his first fumble recovery in his career. So everybody making plays out there for the Philadelphia Eagles today. And it looks like we'll have a coasting second half to get the win here. We will see how it goes. And we will catch you guys on the JAKIB postgame show coming up right after the game. I'll talk to Dan Cilio. I'll talk to John McMullen live from Lincoln Financial Field after the press conferences. And we'll break the game down. We'll talk to some people on the chat. And we'll do it all after the game. So stay tuned, everybody. On JAKIB Sports, we'll be covering the game all day long here on the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Hit that like button, and we'll talk to you on the postgame show coming up after this, everybody.